We have now written 50,462 words for the month of December in this draft. Hello friends and enemies, welcome to day 30 of Writemas, aka Vlogmas writing edition. Yesterday we had a pretty fun writing session where I wrote a flashback scene that kind of felt like fanfic, and then in the present day scene the girlies were fighting. And by the girlies I mean the female main character and the male main character. I had been like hemming and hawing about the fact that these two characters needed to communicate their issues. One thing that I'm trying to figure out is if the male main character knows why they're fighting, because it can go two ways if he does know and if he doesn't know. If he does know, I need him to be groveling like from the get-go. I mean by like first chapter that he steps in from the present day timeline. And if he doesn't, that changes a few things. And it would mean also that he only needs to grovel like right now. Right now they're getting into a fight, mainly because they're finally addressing the issue as to why they had a huge fallout. I will say they are not handling it like mature adults, especially not smart, mature adults, because they were academic rivals when they were in spy school. So they were like the top students going at each other's necks. They're being dum-dums, but you know what? That's kind of expected for smart people when they're in love. My goal for tonight is to hopefully reach 2,000 words, because then that means we have written 50,000 words for the month of December. I left off like right in the middle of their fight, so I'm just like, oh, this is gonna be juicy. Because again, they're not really being mature adults. They're being petty as heck. So we're in for a wild ride tonight. Without further ado, let's get into our first writing sprint. Hello, it is 10:14 p.m. I finished up my writing sprint. My total word count for tonight is 46 words. Okay, I changed up one of the flashback scenes. Okay, hear me out. It makes more sense now that I am changing this flashback scene. I had moved it down to my current chapter just because thematically it made more sense too. But as I was editing to make sure that the timelines were in sync and whatnot, I realized, oh, this is not the scene from this year that I want to put for this flashback scene. I actually want to do something else that would be even juicier and make much more sense. So I'm gonna have to rewrite this flashback scene. I might work on it in the next writing sprint, or I might just hold off on it. But it's gonna be it's gonna be a fun one. Like I had mentioned before, our male main character needs to grovel, and grovel hard. Slight spoiler, but he's the reason why that they had the fallout. So he really needs to be begging for forgiveness. How he's gonna do that, I don't know. We're gonna figure that out together. That's what this book is about. So with that, I am going to go on a break, go into my writing sprint, and then catch y'all afterwards. Hello, it is 10:44. I just finished up a writing sprint and I have written 1,012 words. I did copy and paste from my previous draft into this draft, but it was good. It was a good one. We're just like rearranging flashback scenes because I had swapped two of the flashback scenes so that they're in different orders and they're in different academic terms now. And there wasn't much that I wanted to change, or I was like, if I'm gonna change it, I'll just do it in editing. So I was just copying it from the previous draft into this draft and just all that fun stuff. And then I like looked again and kind of skimmed over the present day scene that it's matched with. I was like, okay, great, this is perfect. No notes, no notes. I didn't go into the other flashback scene that I had swapped it with because I was like, oh, this is gonna have to change a lot and I don't really want to see such a big negative word count after putting in so many words. So we're gonna address that later. But I at least put in the major changes into it so that when I look at it again, I'm like, oh, okay, this is what the scene's supposed to be about now. And then I started off with the next present day scene that I need to work on, which is brand new, at least in this POV, because I had it in the female main character's point of view in the last draft, or whenever the last draft I had like thought of this scene, and now it's gonna be in the male main character's point of view. I did this to myself. Part of me is like, Joelle, you don't need to do such strict alternating change of POVs when you're in dual point of view. Like it doesn't have to be the female main character, the male main character, the female main character, the male main character, because I'm like, I at least want this bit in the male main character's point of view. I need this other scene to happen in the female main character's point of view because it just makes sense, because she's the one having the conversation. I'm like, I can't have the guy just like observing them, or maybe I can. That'll be interesting. I'll have to see honestly. I think I'll ruminate on that for a bit during the break, maybe even like in the writing sprint. Either way, I'll catch y'all in a little bit. Hello, it is 11:16. I just finished my writing sprint. My total word count for tonight is 2,015 words. Yes, I'm doing a lot of copying and pasting because I'm like, I know I need this chapter in here eventually because I know it's going to happen eventually. So we're just going to throw in the words. We have now written 50,462 words for the month of December in this draft. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I am really happy that we finally crossed over into 50K words. Some might argue that it's not a true 50,000 words because I had been copying and pasting from a previous draft into this draft, or that it's not an entirely new project altogether and that they're not new words. But you know what? Those people can suck my left toe, because the main purpose of my Writemas challenge was to 1, start writing again, 2, figure out how to vlog. And whether I started writing again because of a new project or because a project I had shelved for a long time, it's honestly the same thing. Tomato, tomato, potato, potato. We wrote 50,000 words, and that is not a small feat, y'all. I definitely want to continue writing because I'm really loving the story, and I haven't had such like a love and passion for this project in a very long time. Like, it's a fun concept and everything, but I just never knew how to execute it. And doing Writemas has really gotten me to like sit down and try to figure out like plotting, pacing, all these things, and try to take an idea and actually put it into an actual book. So I will go on a break where I'll do a little celebration for myself, aka eat some ice cream, get back into writing, and see y'all after the next writing sprint. Hello, it is 12:13 a.m. I finished up a writing sprint a while ago and also started the writing sprint a while ago. My total word count for tonight is 2,467 words. Again, we're still working on a scene that's part of the present day timeline, but I'm not sure where exactly it's going. It's one of those things where it's like, this conversation eventually has to happen. I can't give you an exact like chapter number or whatever, but it's going to happen. And it's a little bit of a sad one. I feel like it's a little spoilery, not so much spoilery. But anyways, it's on my writing playlist. I'm listening to Sweet Night by V, who, by the way, when I'm recording this, I just celebrated his birthday on December 30th. Technically, it's December 31st right now, but like, you know, it was his birthday. So that's what I have playing while I'm writing this scene. It's from the K-drama Itaewon Class, and I don't know the context of how it's used in the show. As I had said last vlog, I am a Taeyong bias, and I think this was one of the first songs that I heard that was like, I knew was specifically him, and kind of just like how I got into that road. But that's a story for another day. It's not about that. I think it's safe to say we had a very productive writing session tonight. Obviously, because we had added 2,400 words to the draft, and we have now written 50,000 words for the month of December. Plus, we clarified a few things, rearranged some flashback scenes and chapters to make everything make sense. And we have a pretty good idea of things we can work on for the next session. I'm really proud of myself. Low-key, I wasn't sure if I was going to hit 50K for the month, especially with all the different events and like social gatherings that I was going to. I was kind of just like, how am I supposed to write every single day and like write 50,000 words? But we did it. I'm probably going to write tomorrow as well, just so that we end on a high note and we continue this habit of writing. Thank you for joining me in my writing and my yapping. Stay safe, stay warm, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye!